Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Stony Acres Gardening. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how to grow sprouts using this pretty cool little 3-tray system that I got from True Leaf Market. So a big thank you to True Leaf Market for sponsoring this video today. Glad to have them on board for another season of sprouting and microgreens. We're going to be doing a lot over the winter with both sprouts and microgreens. So looking forward to that. It's going to be pretty exciting. While you're here, please make sure that you get subscribed to my YouTube channel. Love to have you join us there, and also go follow us over on Instagram. We'd love to have you on our Instagram channel as well. All right, so what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to grow some sprouts for you. It's winter, and we have kind of run out of gardening season. We do still have a little bit out in the garden. We've got some cold frames and hoop houses where we're growing a few things, but for the most part, our gardening efforts are now moving indoors, and that means microgreens and sprouts. And over the years, I have always just used this jar system. In fact, I got adding it up, and I've actually been doing sprouts longer than I've been gardening. So we figured it out, and the first time we did sprouts was about 28 years ago, and our first garden was 27 years ago. So I've been sprouting longer than I've been gardening. And we've always just used these bottles that kind of have the little screen that you put on, and that's the system that we have always used. But I've always wanted to try one of these tray methods, and so I talked with True Leaf Market, and they sent me one of these, what they call sprout gardens, and I like it a lot. So this is not, I'm going to run through and actually grow 3 batches for you in this video today. This is not the first batches that I've done. We've actually run some other batches through. I really like it. It's easy to use, a little bit easier, I think, than the jar method. Now, am I going to give up on the jar method? No, I'll still continue to use my jars too. But this is a great way to add more volume and just a fun system. So let me show it to you a little bit. So first off, it comes with 3 of these trays, and these are the actual growing trays. So you'll put the seeds in here, and then you'll see that it has holes on the bottom so that it can drain the water out. And then it comes with 4 of these other trays, and you use these trays first for soaking. So when you soak your seeds, you'll put those in there, and then later we're going to use these as the covers. That keeps the light out and keeps the moisture and temperature right for growing. And again, these have been really cool. I've really liked them. So this kit comes with the trays, and then it comes with 3 kind of starter packages of seeds for $35. That gets you going. If you want to get a little more advanced, you can actually get the what they call the basic kit, and it comes with the trays, these 3 packages of seeds, plus it comes with an additional 5 packages of seeds. We've got a couple of salad blends here. We've got some lentils and some beans and some wheat as well that come with this. And that's $70 for that more advanced kit, I guess is what you would call it. So a fun little kit, and like I say, I really have enjoyed using it so far. Let me kind of run through the process with you first. I'm just going to run through the steps, and then I'm actually going to take you through, and we'll go day by day, and we're going to grow a salad blend. We're going to grow a 3-bean blend, and we're also going to grow some lentils. And all of those, the longest one, the salad blend takes about 5 days. The lentils and the bean blend take about 3.5 days. And so it's a pretty quick process. So I'm going to run you through and show you each day the progress that each of those sprouts is making. So here's the process. Very first thing that you need to do before you start any batch of sprouts, whether it's in a jar or in a tray, is you need to clean and sanitize those trays. Every time before you start, you're going to wash them with hot soapy water so that we're sure that they are clean, and we don't want any bacteria or extra stuff hanging out in there. Then you are going to take your tray and you're going to put some water in here, and then you are going to add your seeds, and we need to soak those seeds. Each type of seed will be soaked a little bit differently depending on the type of seed. The smaller the seed, usually the less time it needs to soak. So for example, the salad blend that we're going to be doing will soak for about 8 hours, but beans take longer. So the bean mix and the lentils that we're going to be growing will need to soak for about 12 hours. So you put those in and let them soak. Once they have soaked for the prescribed amount of time, you're going to drain off the water and give them a good rinse one time, and then you're going to put them into the stack, and they're off to the races. Only thing you need to do is rinse them to to 3 times a day. And that is very important. You need to be rinsing your sprouts 2 to 3 times a day to make sure that we wash away all the bacteria, the metabolic processes, and everything that's going on, leave kind of debris and things that if we just let them sit will turn into decay and bacteria and things like that. And so we rinse them 2 to 3 times a day to make sure that things stay fresh and grow healthily, okay? Then we're just gonna let them grow for the prescribed amount of time. Beans and grains usually go about 3 to 4 days. Salady type crops, so broccoli, radishes, any salad mixes, alfalfa sprouts, those usually go 5 to 6 days is how long it takes for them to grow. Then once they've grown, you're going to give them a final rinse, let them dry off a little bit, and then you can store them in the fridge. The beans and the grains will last about 3 days in the fridge. Your salad crops can last up to about a week. Usually, though, I try to eat mine up within about 5 days. That's it. It's a pretty simple process. So let's go ahead and get started. And as what we're going to grow today is we're going to do 3 trays. So let me set them out here. And we are going to grow this 5 grain salad mix. And this one will only need to soak for about 8 hours. And it takes about 2 tablespoons. So we're going to measure 2 tablespoons into our tray here. There's 1. And there's 2. Kind of just spread them out evenly. And then we are going to do this salad bean mix. And this one's actually really good. I've made a whole batch of this one already. And this one takes about 1/4 cup. So I've got a 1/4 cup measure here. I'm going to put 1/4 cup in here for that one. And then we are going to do some lentils. And I've also done a batch of lentils in this system and loved those too. Lentils also take 1/4 cup. So we put those in. And then is what we are going to do is we are going to just add water until the beans are covered. So whatever crop it is until they are covered. So you do need to add a decent amount of water because it is going to drain down into that tray. So we just need to make sure that we get those covered. So we'll cover all of these, let them soak for about 12 hours. This one only will go 8, the other 2 will go 12, and then I'll come back and we will show you the next part of the process. All right, guys, so we have now let these guys soak. I ended up letting all 3 trays soak for 12 hours, mainly because I was doing it overnight and I didn't want to wake up in the middle of the night to drain this tray. One thing that I wanted to point out, you will notice, and it's a little bit less noticeable with the green, but you will notice that there can be a little bit of discoloration to the water once you're done with this first soak. That's normal. Don't panic. Don't think that there's something wrong with your seeds. That's kind of just the seeds kind of bleeding out their color and shedding off some of the dirt and things that they might have, which is part of the reason why we do this. So all 3 of these trays have been soaking now for 12 hours. And the first thing we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and drain these off. One thing that I found with these trays is that when there's not a lot of water in them, you will get a little bit of water tension in this grate. So we've got these little drain holes that run all the way along the edge, and you'll get that water tension in there. If you just run your finger along that grate, it breaks that water tension and kind of allows the last of that water to run out. And then we want to rinse once before we actually finish off. We want to rinse with some fresh water. Now, normally I would be doing this at the kitchen sink, but it's a little bit, the lighting's a little bit better out here in the studio. So, and again, just run your finger along that edge. That breaks that surface tension. And then we are just going to pour this out. And I think I've got an extra tray right here. Yep. And then we're just going to start building our tower, basically, with our sprouts. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing with these, rinse them off, and then this is where our time starts. So this is day 1. With the beans, they will be done in about 3.5 days. The salad mix probably closer to 5 days. So it's Friday when I'm filming this. The beans ought to be ready probably sometime midday on Monday. So it's a quick process with the beans, a little bit longer with those salad mixes, but we're going to start now and I'll come back and show you the progress over the next 3 days. So this would be what we would consider day 2 of our sprouting adventure. It's about 24 hours after the last segment that I did. Let's see how things are doing. So we are already starting to see germination. This is the salad crop. We've got good separation on some of these beans, and we're seeing sprouts with some of the alfalfa as well. So things moving along really well there. And with this bean salad mix, same thing. We're starting to see some good germination. So I'm happy to see that. And then let's look at the lentils. Lentils are maybe not quite as far along as some of the others, but I'm still seeing some germination here as well. So all we're going to do is, again, just our normal twice-a-day rinse. So we'll give these guys one good rinse. Make sure we get that surface tension to break by running our finger along the bottom here so that we get that extra out. We'll do that to the other 2 trays as well, and that is all we need to really worry about for day 2. Again, we're going to do that twice today. Okay guys, so we are on day 3. Let's take a look. Looking really good. I've got some beans going here. This is a bean salad mix. Really, these, like, for example, these guys are ready to eat. But I like to let these go just a little bit longer because if you notice, we're just starting to see germination on this darker bean. They're just starting to crack right now. And so I like to let this one go about 3.5 days. So we'll probably go about another 24 hours with this one. And then that one will be ready. Next, we have the salad mix, which is looking really nice and doing well. Just so that you guys can see, I don't know if you can see this, those are root hairs. And you want to make sure that you don't panic when you see those. That's not mold. That's just root hairs, and is not a problem, not an indication of any kind of a problem. You'll be amazed tomorrow. These guys will really take off. The next 24 hours for these guys will make a big difference. And then the last is the lentils. And lentils are one of the quicker ones to grow. Actually, these are edible right now. If you look, we've got a nice tail on these, and so they're doing well. But I feel like they're just a little bit tastier, a little more tender if we give them another 24 hours. So we'll probably, we're the beginning of day 3 right now. 24 hours from now, we'll be halfway through day 4, so I call it kind of day 3.5. And that's when we're going to harvest these and probably those other beans. So only thing we need to do today is just give everything a rinse. So again, just our standard rinse. Break that surface tension with your finger down here so that everything drains out well. And we're ready. We'll put these back in the stack and come back for tomorrow, which we'll be harvesting these and the beans tomorrow for sure. All right, guys, so this is what I would consider day 3.5. So day 1, we started out, that was Friday morning. So Friday was day 1, Saturday day 2, Sunday day 3. This is Monday at about noon. So we're about 3.5 days into the post-soaking process, and some of these are ready to harvest. So let's take a look at them. First, we have the bean salad mix, and you can see they are looking really nice. We've got good germination all the way through. This is where we want to harvest beans. Okay, we don't want any leaf or anything like that, and so we want to harvest when they've just got a tail, and 3 to 3.5 days is when we want to get these harvested. So these are coming out today. Next, we have the salad mix. Now, this has some beans in it, but it also has a lot of alfalfa sprouts, and I actually like this mix to go a little bit longer. So this one, we're actually going to give one more day. So we'll let it go till day 4.5, and then this should be ready to harvest. So this one will actually stay in the tray for one more day. It'll kind of fill in a little bit more, but you absolutely could eat these at this stage. They're ready. I just like they'll fill in and give us a little more volume if we wait one more day on those. And then we have the lentils. So the lentils are looking really good, 3.5 days in. These probably you could do at 3, the end of day 3 if you wanted. But again, we've got nice long tails, and we're just starting to get a little leaf development, which we want to have them harvested before those leaves actually come out. So 3.5 days on these. I think, you know, the next time I do lentils, I might do them at 3 days instead of the 3.5. But looking pretty good. So we're going to harvest these lentils for you on the camera. So let me pull the camera out and we'll get these harvested. All right, so let's get these lentils harvested. Now, remember again, normally I would be doing this at the kitchen sink, but we have better lighting out here in the studio. So the last thing we want to do with these lentils while they're still in the tray is we want to give them a final rinse. You want to make that rinse as cold as possible. So we're going to use as cold a water as we can, and we're going to give these one good final rinse so that they are nice and clean. Get that water tension out of there. And then is what we want to do is we need to let them dry for a little bit. We don't want to put them away wet in the fridge. Now they're eatable right now, so if you're just going to use them, go for it. But if you're going to put them away in the fridge, then we need to let them dry. So as what I've done is I have a clean towel here, and I've also put some paper towels on top of that. That will make it a little bit easier for us when we're ready to actually dump them into a container. We can pick them up and do it that way. So we're just going to take these lentils and we're going to spread them. And of course, remember, clean hands when you're doing this. Everything needs to be clean in this process. So we're just going to take these guys out of the tray and we're going to spread them out on this paper towel. And we're going to let these guys sit for a couple of hours, just 1 or 2 hours. That will let that water drain off, let them kind of dry out just a little bit. Then we're going to go ahead and take them and we're going to put them in an airtight container and put them in the refrigerator. For our bean crops, those will store for about 3 to maybe at the most 4 days. They're not really long storers, so you need to get after them and use them up quickly. 3 to 4 days in the fridge is all we'll get out of the bean crops. When we're talking about the salad crops, so things like broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, radishes, cabbage, kale, things like that, those will last 5 to 7 days. They kind of hit their peak at about 5 days, but they're pretty good all the way through to about 7 days. If you want, during that storage process, if you want to pull them out and give them a rinse every once in a while, that will kind of help to freshen them up. That does not extend the storage length, just kind of helps freshen them up a little bit. Again, you'll want to dry them off before you put them back in the fridge, but you can do that and kind of helps keep them fresh, but it does not extend the storage date. So again, beans, 3 to 4 days, salad crops, 5 to 7 days is the max that you're going to get storage-wise in an airtight container in the fridge. The other thing you want to keep in mind is you do want to make sure that you keep them away from the really cold spots of your fridge. We don't want them to get frozen. So if they get frozen, it'll ruin them. So you want to make sure that you keep them away from those little areas of your fridge that sometimes freeze. So beyond that, that's it. Harvest and storage, we are done. I really, really like this 3-tray system. So this is the 6th batch that we have run through these, and I like it. It's a lot of fun. Was relatively inexpensive to buy, came with a bunch of seeds for us. So thank you again to True Leaf Market, who sponsored this video and who gave us this sprouting kit. I've included a link for both the basic kit that just comes with the small 3 packages of seed, and then this bigger kit that comes with 5 additional packages of seed. There's links for both of those down in the description of this video. You can click on, run over to True Leaf Market and buy those. Again, this is a great way to add some good, fresh, yummy vegetables, especially in the wintertime, but all year long, which we do sprouts all year long, but it's a really good, we kind of up our game during the winter because we have so much less coming out of the garden this time of year, that this is a great way to have a really good, tasty, healthy crop that you can be growing in your garden on your countertop, essentially. So thanks again to True Leaf Market for sponsoring this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section below, and we'll talk to you next week. Happy gardening.